after an off night in the Integrity Octane Series, the Integrity Racing League is back in action with round number 8 here in Chicagoland. The Joliet Bays Circuit, the 1.5 mile track, will be the host for round number 8 in the Octane Series as we get things kicked off in qualifying at the moment. Sam Nito going to be top of the board over Chris Scheffler, and your mention on screen, Nick Tarbuck machine, as we get into it here and now. 2 laps in 5 minutes to set the grid as we get things going here in Chicagoland. I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz. I hope you do enjoy tonight's presentation as we get things going. And the number 2 machine has it going as he's the fastest man on the board so far. Seth Well going to be in second. Now Jacob Fife moves into the 3rd spot, and it's going to be Caitlin Haight there in 4th in the number 11. Going to bring back that Aston Martin paint scheme from beforehand, running many Formula 1 schemes already. Caitlin Haight has, such as Alpine, Mercedes, and now Aston Martin, as the number 11 machine heads into the wall. Cody Smith at the moment does not top them all, but he's going to be 8th on the board so far. He currently has a 32.929 last lap by his best, a 31.131. So getting some extra practice in. The number 18 machine is Sam Nito, is currently still on the circuit here with a 31.412 last time by. Best time for him was a 31.040 on the dot, so he's looking pretty good so far as we get things going. You might notice something if you're watching the highest quality available, 1080p 60. We have picked up the pace and the picture when it comes to quality. This should be the clearest stream we've ever put on FTN on fiber internet, and we're looking to test it out all week long. This is our very first with this new endeavor, and it should bring to you the best quality iRacing broadcasts on YouTube, point blank. Cody Smith right now going to be top of the board when it comes to battle in 8th, and Cody Griffin is going to be in the top dozen in 12th. Luis Caballero going to be on pit road. Jorge Canales going to be in 17th. And Alan Rowell rolls into the pit road entry. Doesn't make it all the way, though. He'll be in 18th as Matt Jonas is currently in 20th. Only 20 time laps at the moment. Kenny Real going to be on his way. It looks like that Chevy Camaro is still loading up on our frame. And the Optic number 28 is now on the move. Going to be Kevin Matz on the way as well. Matz that time by puts it into 15th, and now he's going to be up in the upper half of the qualifying field as Tom Wetmore, defending winner, takes it into 12th on the board. Wetmore winning after an incredible turn of events, spinning on pit road with 50 laps to do it and able to claw through the field and get it done from Richmond. But this is no short track showdown. This is Chicagoland, and the intermediate circuit's going to be a much bigger challenge in some ways. Not only the size of the track is bigger, but in others, the strategy going to be much different, the pace of play much faster, and some drivers might not be able to stick up to the test. Right now, Victor Avila Felix going to be on pit road. Kenny Real on his way in that number 28 machine, and he's reeling them all in this time by his first of 2 time laps. He might not be able to get to his second, so putting it all on the line this time by the 28 machine is, and as you can see, he's going to be 24th on the board next time by at the minimum. Looks like it's going to be a nice and clean lap for him. iRacing does invalidate times that are not clear, but it looks like he's going to be clear for yet another on the board. He'll be able to go 1 spot up in 23rd, but that will be a wrap, and Sam Nito will be your man on pole position by 8 1/1000ths of a second over the number 88 in Seth Noel. Now we have a 5-minute warm-up period before we get things going, so without further ado, we will get your starting grid on the screen. Give it just a moment to do just that, and we should be good to go tonight. Sam Nito. And how about the man in that number 2 machine? Has always had pace this season, just not able to make it happen when it counts for a victory. But tonight could be anew, and we'll find out whether or not he's able to turn that new leaf as the number 2 machine is on the circuit here for your warm-up. Going to be 5 minutes in second practice, but let's get right into it. Your starting grid for round number 8 of the season here in the Integrity Octane Series. It is Chicagoland, and right now Joliet led by 1 driver. It's going to be Sam Nito in the number 2 machine, 31.040 for him there in first in that number 2. Then it's going to be second spot Seth Well. 1 win on the season so far. It's at the 31.048 on the board with Jacob Fife in the 3rd spot. Rounding out that podium only about 15 thousandths off of your pole position. Jacob Fife, 3rd number 36, 31.056. He's in the mix as Caitlin Haight, a winner at Auto Club, gets it done, puts herself in the top 4, 31.060 for her. Going to be Nicholas Ward rounding at the top 5 with 31.097, and right behind him, it's going to be Colin Gibbon right beside him. Going to be Nick Tarbuck outside row number 3. Dead heat on that row. Going to be then Colin Gibbon, as we mentioned beforehand, 7th on the board, 31.107 with Cody Smith there in 8th, 31.131. It'll be Don Stevens Stevenson in 9th, 31.139. And Tom Wetmore, two-time winner of the season, leading ever driver in win. He's going to have one more to fight for. He's 10th on the board this time by as a 31.147 in tonight's round of qualifying. Then it's going to be in 11th spot, Carson Bechtel. 59 machine going to make it nice and smooth. It's going to be a 31.155 for Bechtel. And then outside row number 6, the number 12 machine in 12th. Ross Cato gets it through. He'll have himself there with a 31.174. And it's going to be Guillermo Alvarez in 13th with a 31.212. Cody Griffin going to be in the 14th spot, 31.215. Then Chris Schetzer, 15th, has a 31.216, and it'll be Alan Dobbs with 31.235. They're in 16th. Kevin Matt's going to be 18th, 31.26. Bobby Ross is at 31.335 and 18th. Then it's going to be Luis Caballero in that 31.359 range. 19th for him. Jorge Ganal is going to be in 20th position flat. Then it's going to be Alan Rodwell, 21st, 31.505. John Steele going to have a 31.519, and Kenny Reel gets it in there, 23rd with a 31.544. And then it's going to be selling the score. Matt Jonas, final man with a time lap with a 31.884. And the remainder of the field going to go as follows. Jay Haishman going to be 25th on the board. Then Trevor Drago, 26th. Brad Patton going to be 27th. Ryan Farrell in 28th. Then it's going to be Kyle Cooper, 29th. Victor Avila Field going to be there in 30th. Randy Fives going to be 31st. Guy Petra, 32nd. And Jim Fife, 33rd. As that will round out your starting grid for tonight's event, round 8 from Chicagoland. Now, how about that starting grid? 33 strong in this circuit. Now, Chicagoland has not been used in the NASCAR Cup Series for quite some time now. It goes back to 2018-19 before the pandemic, and then the circuit got axed in the same vein as Kentucky, both getting axed after that 2019 season, and now coming back with a vengeance on iRacing. You might pay a little bit of attention when it comes down to the start-finish line. Now, if you don't mind, we'll take a look through here and now. You might see some decals on that start-finish lines area that will indicate that this is from the era of Nickelodeon sponsoring races. That angle's not going to show it to you, but this comes from the same time as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 400, which used to be ran at this circuit in about 2015. So Nickelodeon, once a part of the NASCAR scene when it came to sponsorships. SpongeBob SquarePants, I believe the second movie had a sponsorship race at one point. I saw that in NASCAR, I believe with Michael Waltrip Racing as well. So a lot of partnerships shown on iRacing as time flies. This is almost like a time machine in the digital realm. And right now, Kenny Reel going to be third on the board here in a warm-up. Not bad at all, but Sam Nito, once again, the fastest man as he goes down to pit road, this time by the Shelby Cobra machine with a different set of decals than that in the NASCAR Cup Series. Takes it down nice and smooth, and old Smokey trying to make anew and get it done in victory lane. 47 seconds remaining on the board, this time by Guillermo Alvarez, going to be in second right now in that number 83 machine as they all fly by once again. The Got Milk number 83 machine looking to prove that he's got the pace to get it done. And with 35 seconds remaining on the board, he has a lot of pace in warm-up, and all at the moment, 13 drivers have taken a lap. Victor Avila Felix, the last of which in the number 27 machine, as he right now holds a 33.107 this time by, should be much quicker, and that we will see coming out of the line this time by. It's a 32.82 flat, and that's going to be able to put him into 12th, but a big disparity from the front of the field down to the rear here in a warm-up. A lot of single car runs, and the spread is about 2 seconds flat. And once again, Sam Nito, top of the board this time by. He's able to take it home. Second practice is his, and Nito gets it done here from the warm-up portion. Now, let's get into the race and into the 134 lap main event here, this mile-and-a-half circuit. Everyone going to despawn from the track once again, and here we will go once more. 134 laps to get this one done, and currently drivers gridding up onto the field as you can see from afar. The timing and scoring right in the center of your screen, the pylon there, and these drivers piling on to one another right now. Seth Well going to be highest man on the board, who's had himself on the grid, but it looks like Sam Nito now there as well. And the entirety of the field will be in frame this time by Jim Fife, going to be the back of the field, while Jacob Fife is in the front of it. And the father-son duo, the 36 and the 63, racing throughout the field all night long. Keep an eye out for the both of them as Jim Fife returns once again. But a few races without him, but great to see him back in that 63 in the way back pack of the field. And it's going to be Seth Noel right there in frame. Noel, a win already this season. Oh, so close to getting two. He's been real consistent as of recent, but it looks like now is time to grab a gear or two, as it looks like timing and scoring comes alive on my end. We should see Noel and the like get into formation in a rolling fashion and a rolling start here in the NASCAR Cup Series. We've seen time and time again, and we'll see it here in the Integrity Octane Series as they all light the fuse and get themselves going this time by. Now, with that being said, Sam Nito, the man on the top of the board so far, and the point standings will show that Nito is one of those guys who needs to look out for just a bit more. He's got one win already, but there are a lot of guys piling up when it comes to victory lane here, so that number 2 machine might have to get another to keep himself safe. The title fight, it seems like about 5 guys are currently locked in. Nick Tarbuck is about 44 points up on the bubble. Kevin Matz is on the bubble tonight, and he's facing off against Guillermo Alvarez, Ryan Farrell, and Nicholas Ward for the honors to get into the playoffs here in the Octane Series. So we'll see how that all turns out later in the season. We're only about 8 rounds in out of 30, so a lot of time until things develop that way. But as it stands, the number 2 machine is to be able to develop a bad fast car tonight, and he might be able to take that car into victory lane. That remains to be seen this time by the iRacing official pace car will lead him all down and in, and it will be good to go from there out. 134 laps to get it done, and that comes out to a total of just about 201 miles here in Chicagoland. Chicago hoping to get another race on the schedule with a street circuit. This time by we go oval racing here in the Integrity Octane Series. Round 8 underway here from Chicagoland. And a red-hot start for the man who's been up in front all night long. It looks like Sam Nito able to hold on without much of a challenge that time by. And you can see clean air right in front of him. Then it's going to be Seth Well right behind with Jacob Pfeiffer right there in third. Your top 3 guys able to pull away nice and smooth so far as they come down the Brandt backstretch and don't want to brand themselves with a bit of a mark from that fence. Right now, they're all keeping it down to the lower line, save for Jacob Pfeiffer, as it seems like it's already going to be side-by-side between Nick Tarbuck there and Tom Wetmore. Keep an eye out for that as one man going to go down to pit road that time by. Does he save it? It looks like Guillermo Alvarez is in the grass, but he should be good to keep on going, and that he is. Alvarez going to lose an awful lot of time, though, and now the number 83 machine is in a bit of trouble. We'll keep an eye out for him as the night goes on, but it looks like Alvarez in that number 83 machine loses an awful lot, and we'll find out just why. Take an instant replay on the matter here and now. Alvarez right there battling with Cody Griffin and Cody Smith, but that time by, the 83 got a bit bobbled off of that turn, and he goes down into grass, able to save it. He's currently now in position number 31, but he is on that lead lap and is currently battling with Jim Fife, so not all out of contention and not all hope is lost. Right now, though, Sam Nito does not have to hope for anything more, but to hold on to the lead. He has it so far, and he has it quite decisively as they come down the back once again. It's going to be Seth Well with Jacob Fife, second and third. And the battles in the middle pack, they are already brewing big. Don Stevenson right there with Kevin Matz that time by. And take a look at this. Chris Schetzer going to be Carson Bechtel. And they go double file once again. And they are steam rolling through that time by. Schetzer gets a bit of an edge momentum-wise. And he's going to be able to get something done maybe on Don Stevenson that time by. They're double file right at it. And Schetzer has that edge up high. The momentum, it is brewing, and it is brewing big as they come down the back once again. And you can see that Chris Schetzer right now has a lot of guys right behind him in the trains. It's about 4 drivers compared to 3. Kenny Reel on the back end of this battle, as a matter of fact, in that number 28. And he's holding on strong, so is Brad Patton in that number 1. And that time, Bon Scheffler uses all the momentum for the high side to block down low. And maybe Don Stevenson will be able to file in. Cody Smith, though, going to give him a run for his money once again at the Next Level Racing number 18 machine. Looking to take it to the next level that time by. He's now side by side once more. Had a nice and smooth start up in front. The field has had a very little issue controlling their machinery. Alan Rowell now going to be up there, and he looks to be getting closer and closer to the top 15. And the top 15, he wants to be right there with them. The 43 that time by gets himself up one more spot, and Rowell is gaining further and further as the night goes on. Nice to see 7 laps in so far. The lucky number for some, not for others. Sam Nito, however, holds on out in front. Seth Well going to be there in second, and Jacob Fife goes down to the inside line without much hesitation. It's going to be double file this time by down the back, and it looks like the Pro Powder and Paint machine able to get it done. The Triple P goes from the triple position, number 3 up to number 2, and Fife now there in second, as it looks like the Jim Fife machine second to last as it stands. Looks like Guillermo Evers able to run him nice and easy. Nicholas Ward right now going to be way back in the field. He looks like he take a pit stop, as a matter of fact, and that pit stop, it looks like, was because he started down on pit road expecting some chaos, has not gotten it. Now Nicholas Ward had a troublesome race last time we went at it at Richmond, up in front throughout the field, but akin to Sam Nito, as a matter of fact, both of which disconnected early going in the race, or rather early going compared to the checkered flag. Of course, Nito was the man who was leading before he got disconnected, and Nicholas Ward about halfway through saw his night turn to madness. He actually battled back to get in the lead lap about 25th or so, but it was not enough to get back in the victory contention. Unfortunately for him, it looks like that bad luck has crossed over once again, and Ward right now is going to be in the number 33 when it comes to position. The 97 machine not holding on strong all too well. Jacob Fife, though, holding on very strong this time by, and he's going to be able to make it so on the number 2 machine. Fife now to the point here in Chicagoland. And watching off the back bumper to the Jacob Fife machine, trying to get control before the double-digit laps. It looks like he's going to be able to do so quite decisively as they come down the line once again. Looks like Fife bobbles a bit, and now it looks like Sam Nito almost takes advantage of it. Not going to be enough to do anything with it. Oh, so close, though, as right now Sam Nito holds on there in second, and the top 10 guys have been able to pull away nice and smooth. Kevin Matz, the last of which in the number 50 machine, clawing himself up 5 spots since the beginning of this race. Michael Well, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you do enjoy our new Crystal Clear Productions. FTN is now on fiber internet, and we are proud to present the highest possible quality we can absolutely give. YouTube, as a matter of fact, does have a maximum bit rate we should push out, and we are hitting that on the nose right now, so this should be as clear as it gets. Jacob Fife right now has made it clear as day he wants to lead, and that's exactly what he's been able to do for his operation. 36 in the mix, and now he's going to be in first over Sam Nito by about a 10th and a half thus far. Stephen Well going to be in third, Caitlin Hayes is in fourth, and Tom Wetmore is now in fifth. The inside line has become the dominant groove for all of these drivers so far. It seems like momentum has not been a big conversation piece for these guys in the top 10. Ross Cato goes down to the apron. Will it work for him? It looks like for Gallon Gibbon it might work for a pass, but not to hold on. We'll see how it works out from there on out. It looks like a battle in the bottom of the top 10. But going back up to the front, you can see every driver using the exact same line in and out. For Buffett, thank you for stopping by. But you can now see a bit of a difference for Sam Nito as he tries something to hold on to his tire. Might have worn out a bit being a hot lap hero, getting that great qualifying run, but will it work against its favor? That might just be the case right now, as Sam Nito falls back in the third that time by on Seth Well, as Garland Gidman fighting hard. Now as Ross Cato charging Cody Griffin there as well, and Gidman had an awful lot of pace last time we went racing at Richmond, just got wrecked early and was not able to climb throughout the field. A big track position night at Richmond always turns out to be, as that time by Ross Cato goes down to the inside and tries to make it so on Kevin Matz. It doesn't look like it's going to work that time by, and the Toyota Camry, the number 50, holds on strong. Cody Griffin going to be able to make it so in 8th. Colin Gidman is 7th right now. Nick Tarbuck, one of the guys who's currently in the playoff hunt on points, needs a strong night once again. Consistency is always key in the Integrity Racing League, and almost never slip up, quite frankly, if you want to keep yourself in the battle. And if you can keep it to a minimum, you might be able to make it so, as right now it looks like Jacob Fife has slipped up just a bit, and one of those momentary lapses in judgment might just give another battle for another driver, and it gives a shot for the Seth Well machine. That time by the Slash and Go machinery does not get the splash of momentum he needs to clear, but Jacob Fife now is a bit of trouble as he goes up high. That time by tries to get a run to the back straightaway. Will it work? Maybe it will, maybe it will not. Seth Well that time by makes himself known and gets up to the top of the board. Take a look at a close-up drone shot here as the battle rages on. At that time by, looks like Noel able to get that perfect entry, and now Jacob Fife is in contention for second. Not in a good way. Sam Nito might have been able to make himself known once again, laying back in the middle of the run when everyone gets their tires warmed up, and then coming back to strike and to strike hard. Great to see there as Sam Nito right now in that number 2 machine, able to take back second. It's going to be Jacob Fife there in third. Caitlin Haight going to be in fourth with Tom Wetmore rounding out the top 5. A big blink for Golly Gidman that time by, and that's going to be an issue as River Page on the board right now on the time and scoring screen. No, but he's on the chat room. And River, well, he's going to be live in 18 minutes on FTN. It's going to be the Texacon Truck Series, the Highline Racing League. A great presentation there. If you want to keep an eye out for that, well, check out the FTN channel page. We'd love to have you live on FTN. About 888 subscribers we enter this one with, and it looks like we've gotten just a bit higher. So on the road to 900, we're getting closer, as right now Sam Nito is one of the guys on the road to lap 134. Caitlin Haight going to be third on the board right now, and she's going to be able to settle the score quite well. Aston Martin, what a start they've gotten off to in Formula 1. Fernando Alonso, he has been a machine in his, of course, Aston Martin racing equipment, and he's one of those guys to keep a lookout for every night. A podium contender, much like Caitlin Haight is, no matter what paint scheme she runs tonight. It is an Aston Martin, and she's hoping to get himself up into that top 3, and right now she is there, looking to get a few spots higher, though, as Sam Nito and Seth Well hold on out in front. A similar cast of characters to the last time we saw Caitlin Haight win at Auto Club up in front. Chicagoland always makes it happen for some, not for others, and looks like a similar groove development compared to, of course, a track like Auto Club. You can see the seams are very close to one another right now when it comes to distance, but they are also very well defined. Tracks that are a bit smoother, you can't really get the lines felt out as well. How about a track like Texas where they use PJ1 or resin to make something happen? And Sam Nito's dropping like a rock once again. This is bad news if it means anything from last week. Nito from the top 2 looks to have yet another disconnection, and he's fallen back into 32nd now. It looks like 33rd, and Nito again, a heartbreaker to believe, and you can see the gap is major, and he just disappeared from our screen as well as yours. Sam Nito is out from this one 2 weeks in a row due to a network failure, or hardware failure, what have you. Once again, the Nito machine with a great run is now down and out on our end. I can't believe this. 1 lap down he is already, and that might just be all she wrote just like that. Seth Well is a bit of a buffer right now as Kevin Matz has anything but. He's side by side with Ross Cato as it stands. And that's what we always say is most similar to, say, an engine failure in the real world. If your internet goes out, well, you're just about done for as a driver. It's very hard to get that thing going, especially in the green flag run like we're seeing right now. If that happens to you, it just about is over with. And right now, you hate to see that for a driver like Sam Nito. He's had a hell of a lot of pace, and he's gotten disconnected twice from a very similar position. First at Richmond, second in Joliet, and it looks like right now that will be it for his run. Sam Nito still looks to be connected to a voice chat here, but I'm not sure if it's being held on to on Discord's end, what these guys use to communicate with one another, or if it just is being held on from him. Nonetheless, he looks to be done for the night. Got a good qualifying effort in bonus points, but I'm not sure what he's going to do from there on out. He is, thankfully for his sake, done and done when it comes to locking himself in with 1 win on the season already. Still is pretty bad news. As it stands, though, Nancy Wetmore, thank you for stopping by. And this is Tom Wetmore looking to go for win number 3 on the season, going for position number 3 as is, and hoping to get the first win in the crystal clear era on FTN. And right now, up to the high side, he's going to be able to make it so. Now, for the viewers tuning in for the first time tonight, this is the highest quality we've been able to push out on YouTube's end for our entirety of our history. In our 1 year of broadcasting, this should be the clearest we've been able to pull out all of our time here on FTN. Now, we love to hear that, but it's only going to get better from here as we're tuning it in, getting the fine details going as a fine race on our hands. Mick Tarbuck going to be on the high side as Jacob Fife gets it done that time by for third. The inside line developing as well as the outside right now, and Tom Wetmore using everything that he has to hold on. That time by, Jacob Fife not able to make it happen, and it looks like that outside line worked for one and not for some others. It looks like so far Wetmore is able to get himself nicely into third. Caitlin Haight going to be there in that second position. Seth Well going to be in first, and Cody Griffin is now falling back in 6th, and the second pack is developing. As you can see now, Chris Scheffler right there with Brad Patton and Golly Gidman, as the second pack, which once was in the first, is now getting more and more bunched up. And a great run for Kenny Reel tonight in that number 28 machine. I tell you what, Kenny Reel, one of the guys we met from the 4-0 Tour, and 4-0, smaller fields most often than not with a younger driver base. We were never really able to judge the metrics on Kenny Reel's ability to wheel these machines. I tell you what, tonight, in a longer run that we don't often see is the series we first found him in, well, it looks like he is able to adapt quite well. He's in 10th as is, and the Optic number 28 machine has figured the optics out to get a top 10. Great to see for Kenny Reel, a major ambassador for FTN, one of the guys who got the onboard cameras working for us, and he's one of the guys we've had for quite a long time now, for a season's worth of 4-0. It's great to see him here in the Integrity Racing League, racing to his heart's content. You love to see it. A lot of great drivers here, and right now, you can see the battle right in front of him is brewing as Brad Patton goes down to the apron. And Patton in a much different look tonight. As a matter of fact, as far as we were concerned, it looks like a bit of a switch up in paints for a few drivers. However, on our end, Brad Patton, the most noticeable difference. It looks like John Steele was actually the winner of a March Madness bracket group done in the Integrity Racing League, and as a result, he chose the paint schemes that are ran by Brad Patton, Jacob Fife, and I believe it's going to be Jay Haishman there as well in that bracket, who were the losers of it. The end result, the winner, the number 22 machine, he picked a few paint schemes, and right now, the number 22 is running quite strong, currently holding on in the middle of the field, actually falling back a bit from last checked on him. He's currently now in position number 31. Not where he wants to be, but certainly going to be able to get some bounce back as the night goes on. A great driver such as himself, and right now chasing down Jim Fife as Fife chases down Victor Avila Felix. And tire degradation is becoming a major factor early on. 27 laps in out of 134, a great long and strong green flag run here on FTN. And you can see that Seth well right in front. Well, he has the 044 on your screen, but that is the 88 in this series. He's currently right there up in front, side by side. It's going to be Tom Wetmore there with Caitlin Haight. And these guys are running about 1 second off their best lap. A 31.5, the best for Seth Well, and his most recent a 32.138, as he now has a bit of contention between Sam Nito. Nito back on the board, as a matter of fact, and it's great to see this time by. He's able to reconnect, but bad news. The man who was out in front oh so early in this one is now far back, 4 laps back. He's able to get through nice and easy, though, to get 1 lap back on himself. He'll have to get a few cautions, though, if he wants any chance at the victory. Seth well out in front. While he did look like for a moment there he had a bit of contention on his lead, it might just develop here. As you can see, side by side, it's going to be 2 drivers going in Tom Wetmore and Caitlin Haight. Looks like Noah going to be able to pull just a bit of an advantage as a result of this battle. And that time by, Tom Wetmore on the low, Caitlin Haight on the high. And you'll see they all merge down to the same groove. And it's actually going to be merging up that time by as Tom Wetmore gets it done there on Caitlin Haight. Now it's going to be Tom Wetmore there in second. The 11 machine is going to be able to stay in third. And Jacob Fife holds on in fourth as Nick Tarbuck slowly but surely closes in position number 5. The top 5 drivers now within 1 second of each other, and they have a 1 second gap to Cody Griffin, as it's going to be Griffin in that number 6 spot, and Ross Cato is in there in 7th. A 2-car sort of oasis here. These drivers not having to worry about all too much so far. They have each other, and each other's what they have, and they are using each other to their advantage. Great to see the Fast Forward Esports machine forwarding himself in the field, getting closer and closer to the front. Chris Schetzer right now closing in on Brad Patton once again, and it looks like Kenny Reel closing in on them as he furthers that gap between himself and Donald Gidman. Gidman's going to be in the 11th spot as it stands, as it looks like he blinks out as soon as we mentioned 890 subscribers. We thank you all dearly for your support. If you want unlimited chat access on FTN, well, be sure to subscribe. It is free. It is hopefully fun for you guys to watch, and we'd love to keep you up to date with every race in this league as we provide the best quality we can offer week after week. We love to see it. We love to see each and every one of you viewers, and we hope to hear from you every night we're at it. Right now, though, Seth well, he needs no feedback. He's been out in front on cruise control for quite a while now, 32 laps in out of 134, and no man has been able to stop him just yet. It seems like he is the man of this hour, and it looks like he'll be able to come down the line without much contention. Wetmore's now in second. And I tell you what, Tom Wetmore is able to turn himself into a bona fide superstar of this series. He won last time by at Richmond after a wreck on pit road. Got it done at Gateway in a fierce battle with Nick Tarbuck. And right now going for win number 3 on his end, the number 51 machine in the Tube Tech 51. Indeed, he's got the tech to make it happen. The hardware is right there, and he's well equipped to chase down Seth well. That time by, though, about a tenth or so off of the leader's pace. But that is no slouch of a pace, as Seth well simply has something dialed up better than anyone else that time by. Caitlin Haight going to be able to run in the third spot, just about dead even with Tom Wentworth's time. Now it's going to be Jacob Fife there in fifth. Let's take a look through the middle of the pack, though. How about 21st? A big battle between Alan Rowell and Jorge Canales. As you can see, Canales goes down to the inside line. Alan Rowell holds high and takes Jay Ashman right there with him. Going to be a 2-for-1 that time by when it comes to losing spots for one, but a great pass for some others as they're all getting spread out here in Chicagoland. Side by side, no retirees on the night so far, and as a matter of fact, 32 drivers are on the lead lap, and I believe it'll be all 33 if Sam Nito did not have a hardware malfunction early on. 35 laps in at 134. Our first Next Level Racing promotional break will be at lap number 50, so stay tuned till then. We're going to keep it uninterrupted all night long, save for those brief moments. Of course, Next Level Racing, a proud partner, and right now representing one driver well, and that is the man in that number 18 machine. Take a look at the man in the 12th spot. That's Cody Smith, and he's going to be right behind the Colin Gibbon machine. Gibbon, as it stands, is blinking. The Abbott might have to deal with that. It's getting a bit more severe than it was at the beginning, but the 18 machine for Next Level Racing has been on a next level charge. That time by, he does get it done on Colin Gibbon, and Gibbon is blinking big. Don Stevenson and Abbott is now right behind him. We'll see whether or not they make any call. Jurisdiction is in his table. Of course, as they go side by side, Ryan Farrell and Colin Gibbon too, and it looks like the 04 machine slots right in. But last season's champion in Cody Smith, represented by the Next Level Racing crew, and this season's champion gets a full sim rig worth a value of $2,000 US, a great promotional partnership between NLR and the Integrity Racing League. Right now, these guys fighting fierce as Colin Gibbon gets cleared that time by, but not one, but it looks like two, as Stevenson goes down to the inside line and gets it done almost entirely in just a flick of the wrist. And a great maneuver there for the man in that number 47 machine. Don Stevenson holds it steady side by side, and he's going to be able to take it down to the inside line without much contention. Going to be Don Stevenson now in 13th. Colin Gibbon falls to 14th, and Trevor Drago makes it so in position number 15. Kevin Matt's going to fall down to 16th. He was there in the 15th spot for qualifying, now down to 17th as a matter of fact, and it looks like for one of the drivers oh so strong in races, right now his race pace has not come to him as tire wear is becoming more and more major. That time by 0.2 of a second off of the pace. He'll have to regroup as Carson Bechtel passed him last time by. Now it's going to be the number 59 in position number 16 as Bechtel from Maconi's setup shop has set himself up quite well to get back into the hunt, as he right now is just about dead even on pace with Colin Gibbon here, but Gibbon falling through the field and fast. He was up there in the top 10, but tire wear has gotten to him, and he's going to have to manage those tires a bit better to run up with the field in later distances and longer distances, as he'd need a yellow to bail him out, but right now everyone running smooth and clean. It's going to be Victor Apple of Felix right there with Randy Fish battling for 27th here, as the battles throughout the field are as tense as they get. As a matter of fact, Fish now in 25th here as they round the back once again. And Randy Fish in that number 19 machine, not off to a hot start in that number 19 right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he now has it in front of two drivers right there. It looks like Bobby Ross has a bit of a struggle keeping himself going, but not much to be said and done for these guys in the back. Just clocking laps, hoping for strategy to fall into their lap. A caution would be the deciding factor for them right now. It seems like holding on is what they need to do just to keep it there till the checkered. Kyle Cooper in the Beluga number 73 machine, the viral YouTube sensation Beluga, represented by that number 73, and not often you see a YouTuber represented on iRacer's car if it isn't part of sim racing or the motorsport world, but that's what you're seeing here tonight. And Cooper running in that 24th position right now in no man's land as the number 73 holds on away from just about every driver on the circuit. Not a bad thing for him though, as he's able to clock laps in and get a bit more experience, a bit more speed right now on even pace with a 17th spot in Kevin Mass. Take a look up though. It's going to be Don Stevenson there with the Ryan Farrell machine. Farrell falls back that time by. Don Stevenson able to get himself right through as they come down the line. Farrell gets a bit of it, and now he'll have to fall back to Colin Gibbon. If Gibbon gets a big enough run off the apron, he gets a major one. They'll be side by side. No clearance allowed. That time through, a major defensive maneuver from the 93 machine. He claws right in, gets that side draft on it, and now they're going to be dead even once again. And Ryan Farrell picks up the pieces without much of an issue. Nice, smooth move. The number 04 machine down to the inside line, trying to get himself right back up there, and the extreme number 93 makes the extreme maneuvers necessary to hold on. There he goes once again. Nice move and nice work for the 93 Chevy Camaro. And right now, up in front once again, Seth Well is in another universe right now. 2.5 seconds up on Caitlin Haight in 43 laps, gaining more and more time as the battle for second is intensifying here. The 11 machine is out in front, but she's got Wetmore, Tarbuck, and Jacob Fife chasing her, as right now it's going to be Jacob Fife falling back one to the Nick Tarbuck machine. Not if he can do anything about it, and that time by, he looks to be able to do something. Not enough to hold on for Tarbuck as they go double file down to the stripe once again. One driver all the way down to the inside. That looked to be Ross Cato right there, as the number 36 goes up high and keeps himself out to dry, but not going to be a major issue so far as they go double file once again. The 36 and the 4 keeping it casual so far, as I know they got a lot to race for as the night goes on. Wetmore going to be there in third, looking for more in his own right, and Caitlin Haight right now looking to get into the fight, and it's not going to be the fate that she wants to put herself, of course, in second in the checkered flag. She wants first, and fate might be on her side for this podium battle, but maybe not for the checkered flag just yet. Brad Patton able to get himself up into that 6th spot. That time by, we saw him use a major move down to the apron. It was not the Ross Cato machine, it was Tom Wetmore. No, Brad Patton, as we saw it beforehand. And we'll take a look once again as Kenny Rhea right now battling the 8th spot. Ross Cato drops down to the inside line. That time by, he keeps it going though, and Cody Griffin now right there with Kenny Rhea. And Rhea's been able to reel him in all night long. A great run on his part. He was in 10th last time we checked up on him, and right now getting closer and closer to the front of the field once again. Down the line once again, it's going to be Kenny Rhea in 8th, and you can see Brad Patton going to extreme measures all the way up to the highest side of the wall and all the way down to the apron when he needs to go there. But 46 in out of 134, and you begin to question whether or not we'll see pit stops sometime soon. Now, about 90 odd laps remain here, so we could see a one-stopper if they hold on for about 15-20. We could see a two-stopper if they go in here and now. But right now, no driver seems to be thinking about that. They want that checkered flag in their own right, and that time on, the 88 machine makes it happen. For Splash and Go, he's been on the go ever since he got the lead. Caitlin Haight going to be there in second in the Cognizant number 11 machine, and right now it seems like the battle between the 3 men behind are going to be the 36 who washes right up high, and now the 4 machine has a bit of a momentum boost on Tom Wetmore. That time by, Wetmore holds on to the inside, but as they go down the line, it might be Nick Tarbuck with the edge on momentum. That time by, he barrels down the back. Here he comes once again, and he has it made for second that time through. It's going to be second, as a matter of fact, in the battle for second, as the man up in front is Seth Well indeed. Nick Tarbuck now in third, and second for second is third. That's going to be Nick Tarbuck, as we mentioned, as it's now going to be side by side between Fife and Tom Wetmore. Wetmore had a rocket ship start, got as high as second, but right now fading back akin to a guy like Colin Gidman. And right now, while Wetmore has been able to manage it gracefully, it still is not enough to keep that top 2, and right now just outside of the top 2 and the top 3, Wetmore holds on as we go on board inside the cockpit of number 51. And Tom Wetmore, that time by, ran a 32.737, about 2/10 off of Nick Tarbuck right in front of him. So the Tube Tech number 51 has to pick up the pace to get something going on his hunt for the victory. The Brant backstretch, they all go down through it once again. It's all the same for most of these drivers time and time through, and very little has changed. Tom Wetmore down to the inside once again, makes it so. 4th gear, gets it right up to 5th once again, and barreling down once more. Wetmore keeps it there and settles the score. 50 laps in out of 134. We'll be right back. Our next ever racing promotion or break going to be here and now, and Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009. The best place for any equipment used in simulation racing, be it iRacing, be it anything else, any simulator product that you would need, they've got it. And we will be right back. As a matter of fact, Next Level Racing now is a promotional partnership with Ferrari, officially licensed Ferrari Elite products designed especially for sim racers or dedicated that want nothing but the best. We'll be right back after your first Next Level Racing promotional break. And that will be your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night once again for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Next Level Racing for high quality sim racing performance products since 2009. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information as a Next Level drive has been put on by Sam Nito. Well, until it got shortcut. Right now, Seth Well takes the lead, inherited, and he's been going from there. 53 in out of 134. No man has been able to top him so far. Caitlin Haight, though, might be able to give a run for his money as she's right now there in second, but now 4 seconds adrift. That time by John Steele loses an awful lot of time as the first drivers come in on strategy. Going to be Luis Caballero and Bobby Ross, as it looks like they're both exiting, as a matter of fact. And 54 in, we should expect a 2-stop strategy at that rate. Now it's going to be a big battle between Donald and Gibbon right now, side by side. As you can see, the back straightaway is being more and more populated by drivers, lap machines, drivers who do not handle tire strategy all too well, and those who are up in front. Regardless of these battles, you can see the trials and tribulations taking some drivers to the highest to highs and lows to lows. That time by, though, it's going to be Chris Schetzer who gets the edge as it appears further and further back. Some drivers have fallen. Kenny Rio goes down to 15th as the caution is out, first time in this night, and it looks like John Steele there. But it looks like regardless of who was there and who was not, I do believe this is your stage break for tonight's event, and Seth Well comes out on top here in this stage. Now 55 in out of 134, and that is your lone stage on the night. So this should shift up tire strategy pretty major, and we will see whether or not the few of the tires matter more as 56 laps in, Seth Well gets it done for stage number 1. And with that being said, Seth Well going to win stage 1 as we are now under yellow live on FTN. And as you can see, the number 88 catches up to the iRacing official pace car. Then it's going to be Caitlin Haight there in second. Nick Tarbuck going to be there in third. So as we have some time, we'll see who comes out of pit road victorious, as we do expect a race off pit road here and now. Seth Well going to be the man who leads them all in this time by, and you can see nobody on there just yet. One driver going to pass by that. I believe that was the Bobby Ross machine, looking to get a bit of a tire strategy advantage when it comes to track position to enter stage number 2, as now Sam Nito getting laps back, and I believe it will be unlimited for Nito as it was an internet malfunction or a hardware failure of any sort. And now the 88 gets on the move down the pit road this time by. He leads them all in. It'll be Caitlin Haight coming in second. Nick Tarbuck going to be coming in third. Cody Smith going to be there fourth. Then Tom Wetmore in fifth, and Jacob Fife in sixth, as Don Stevenson in the 47 comes through in position number 7. So as we get right into it here and now, the 88 makes it so nice and smooth dive in. Let's see who's got what it takes here as they all come down into pit road. Gonna be Alvarez there as well. Looks to be Seth Well, though, out in front. Let's get right into it. Alvarez on the way. Seth Well gonna be there in position number 2. Winning off pit road going to be Seth Well. Same old, same old. Then it's going to be Nick Tarbuck, Caitlin Haight, Brad Patton with Cody Smith, Jacob Fife, Tom Wetmore, Cody Griffin, Ross Cato, Golan Gibbon, Chris Schessler, Carson Bechtel, then Kenny Reel with the man rounding out your top 5, Don Stevenson in the number 47 as they all get it going. Once again, the great reset here in this event. And as it stands, Guillermo Alvarez is the man out in front. The major beneficiary he was is now there in position number 1. And with that being said, we are getting things geared up. It's going to be the number 83 leading them through and through. He got through 1 lap early on tire strategy. Now Seth Well is there in second, and it will be Nick Tarbuck in third, Caitlin Haight in fourth, as everyone gets things going. Once again, it's a great way to get it going for the 88 machine, as it looks like Guillermo Alvarez comes down pit road once again. The 88 dominating that first stage. The moment he got out in front, there was no turning back, and no turning back's the way to do it for a man like that number 88 for Nexus Esports. We've been putting on a next level drive in his own right. As we get into it in just a few laps time, we should come back to green at lap number 60. So with that being said, out in front, the score, well, not much to say so far. The 88, though, has been up in front with little hesitation. Nick Tarbuck could be there in second. Caitlin Haight is in third. And with, well, there in first, should be going green in just about 2 laps time. And with that being said, 58 in out of 134. How about we get a word with the driver? Let's try to get one in at the moment. We could try to get Sethwell, but as it stands, we'll try to get someone else in at the moment. Let's take one. That's going to be the number 4 machine in Nick Tarbuck. We'll try to get a word with him as it stands. He seems to be available for comment, so let's get him right in right about now. And Nick Tarbuck, as it stands, going to be there in second on the board for this restart. How are you feeling so far from Chicagoland?
I'm feeling this is looking a lot like Las Vegas.
Nonetheless, out in front so far. So what's the game plan coming into stage number 2?
Well, my tires were dead at the end of stage 1. I had 30-some% right front tires, and the guys that were catching us had 70-some%. So my game plan is to save tires a lot more than that. Try not to battle anybody too hard, and see what happens, really. I mean, Seth's been class of the field, 4.5 seconds out, so it's going to be tough, but we'll see what we can do.
And conservation, the way to go for tires. Now, 1 lap to go. We'll keep it brief. Any final thoughts regarding strategy?
No, I don't think so. I think from here on out, you just go until you have to pit, or I don't know if you have to pit or not, actually. I'm not a big strategy guy, so let's see if we can make it. No, we're going to have to pit. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun for you guys to watch, though.
Well, there we have it, an unknown round for the man in second right now. That's Nick Tarbuck in position number 2. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
And we're right back on the way. Nick Tarbuck get right there on the board in position number 2. And as he said, Sethwell, the class of the field, the first time around. Second start, the first restart. And the man out in front, it all stays the same in that way. It's going to be position number 1 for the 88 as we get into it this time by. Here we go again. Going to be Sethwell there in first. Nick Tarbuck going to be in second. Going to be the Caitlin 8 machine in third. And here we go indeed. The iRacing official pace car going to be on its way, and let's get right into it once again. Sethwell going to be on the move. Green flags out here from Chicagoland for restart number 1. Welcome to stage number 2. And a major start from Sethwell, once again going to be able to gap him by 0.3 of a second there. And Nick Tarbuck looking to save some tire. Has a lot of drivers fighting as aggressive as they can get it. Caitlin Haight might be in the same vein right now, but she's got a move to make if she wants to get in that battle right now for the lead. As it stands though, no moves been made to contend just yet, at 61 in out of 134, getting closer and closer to the halfway mark here in Chicagoland. The good majority of this race ran with the man in the 88 out in front. Lap 67 or halfway point. We're getting closer and closer to it, as right now it's going to be Nick Tarbuck there in second, Caitlin Haight there in third. You can see now 3 wide. It's going to be Brad Patton with Colin Gibbon, and it looks like the Cody Griffin machine right there. And down the line, one has to give and one does. Colin Gibbon does, and now Brad Patton has the edge on the inside line as they all come through the back and the front once again onto the back stretch. It looks like the number 1 holds on with the number 3, and it's going to be plain to see the number 3. It's going to be the number 3 with the number 1, as we said. The 36 though holds on, and now the number 1 has very little draft on the straights, but the turns, less distance to travel. It has been a major advantage. And right now the number 1 has it almost done as they come down to the back once again. Colin Gibbon now trying to stick a nose into it and getting closer and closer to the 04 machine does, and you can see it. The battle has been fierce, but the out front battle, well, it's in there for second, not for first. Sethwell has a 0.4 of a second advantage over the remainder of the field. And 63 laps in out of 134. Very few have been able to keep it out in front like that man in the number 88 machine has. You can see Colin Gibbon now has Tom Wetmore right there in the mix. Let's ride on board Tom Wetmore here and see if we can get a pass in this lap. That might just happen. Let's take a ride on board and see. One driver goes down to the inside line. That's going to be Cody Smith. Big Colin Gibbon sees that Wetmore has a run. What does Wetmore do with it that time by? He lets off just a bit. Going to use that minor bit of momentum he had carried just to use it and rev it back up once again. It's going to be now 3 wide right there with Griffin and Patton, then Jacob Fife. Going to be Wetmore holding on though, goes up high, then lunges in once again to the inside line and gets it done in Colin Gibbon. And that's how you want to do it, using every inch of momentum, every ounce of it, and every mile of the hour. And that time by has a bit of an edge on the timing scoring charts as they come to the line. Wetmore will be scored 9th, but he's getting closer and closer to making something happen. Take a ride on board now with the man of number 36 machine and Jacob Fife and take a wider shot to see how the battle's happening. You can see now up to the high side. Wetmore is going to take him down low, and the 51 is on the loud pedal. Going to be a bit of banging there as Chris Schessler now enters the battle in his own right. And this battle inside the top 10 is getting fierce. 65 out of 134. Keep an eye out for every driver here. Schessler going to be right there with Gallon Gimmon. Down the line once again. It's going to be Schessler inside. Gallon Gimmon on the outside. And 66 out of 134. They make it so. And they're now one lap to the halfway marker here. And now the second half crunch time. It will be all about getting it done. Execution is key and critical as the man out in front. It looks like Sethwell has been out there all night long, and that he has been, but he's only been out in front for about 6 laps on this run as he currently has the field by over a second. How about the man that number 88? He has been able to seal a lot of drivers' fates so early. Great job from Sethwell in the number 88. It's going to be Tom Wentmore there in the 51 machine, holding up high. As now they're going to go 3 wide once again. Going to be Brad Patton, Chris Schessler, and the 51. And it's going to be 3 wide middle for the 51 that time by. Halfway mark, the cross flags will be waving this time by. And you can see Gallon Gimmon now has Ross Cato there. Cato's been so close to making something happen, just not close enough just yet. But he might have something for him as the night goes on. You could see down on the inside line, he tries to get it on Gimmon, and Gallon has a lot of speed on these early, shorter runs. But a long run last time by, he fell back below the top 15. That's what he hopes to not have happen this time by, as Jorge Canales goes way up high, and now it's a 3-wide momentum. It's built up, and now he's in the mix himself. The 84 now looking to get it done, and he is a rocket ship fast. He gets it done. 2 spots for 1 on the high side. Where did he come from? I'm not quite sure, but the number 84 machine looking to mix things up. Now has Ross Cato and Gallon Gimmon there once again. Going to be Carson Beck who falls behind the most in this mix. Down the line, Ross Cato there on the inside. Gallon Gimmon has them 3, and now 69 laps in. A nice run. It's been all night long for every driver, and 66 laps to do it. Time is running out, and now these drivers have to think about what their final moves might be on strategy, expecting 1 more pit stop at the very minimum. And that's if we don't have overtime of restarts. We have seen them before. We saw them in Richmond. We could see them once again. And the number 4 machine going to be there in the number 11's tracks. The tire tracks. It is evident that these guys are leaving them more than Sethwell. The man who's been the king of tire conservation has led them all out in front this stage. 65 laps to do it. And he now has that edge by just under a second. Caitlin Haight did gain last time by, and now is beginning to gain more and more. This could be a sign that tides are shifting, and it could be high tide for the driver in that number 11, as the man of the 88 is losing more and more to her time after time. The battle up in front is shifting, but one thing that isn't is the constant grouping of Tarbuck, now Schessler and Jacob Fife with Cody Griffin in the mix. The top 10 has been all up and down, but the good majority of the same drivers have been there no matter what. Tom Wentworth sees himself there in 10th right now as Ross Cato fights with Gallon Gimmon and 64 laps to do it. These drivers are getting themselves into a battle they might not want to get too caught up in. They want to make it down to the checkered flag in one piece, and Stevenson, who knows that, goes down to the inside line in his own right. The 59 of Carson Bechtel right there. Alan Don's going to be in the mix himself in 15th, and Kyle Cooper makes it so in 16th. Kenny Rue going to be there in 17th. Guillermo Alvarez in 18th, and 63 laps to do it. No cautions for cause tonight. Every driver's been all good and clean. As you can see, a mean battle forming between Bechtel and Don Stevenson now, and Stevenson, a great start to his season. Now, I tell you what, we've mentioned that before, but how about we show you it on stream? The first time we showed it all night long. Here are the point standings going into tonight's event. You can see a few drivers are locked in according to victories, including Tom Wentmore, a great start to his season, getting it done not once but twice and making it nice as Caitlin Haight locked in as well. So is Sethwell, Cody Smith, Sam Nito, Nick Tarbuck is 44 points up, and as it stands, Don Stevenson is 30 up, and the bubble man, it is Kevin Matz there, and he is right now looking to fight off Guillermo Alvarez. As it stands, though, Matz is not in front of Alvarez, and it will be Guillermo set to go above the bubble tonight if the number 83 machine finishes where he is right now. Ryan Farrell is only 7 points down and gaining on that bubble, and so is Nicholas Ward. However, Ward right now is in 32nd, 8 laps down. No retirees so far. Luis Caballero is 19 laps down, as is Still, every driver is registered for the session and will keep on going as the night goes on. 61 laps to do to get back to that live feed that you are watching live on FDN. The 47 machine Don Stevenson holds on, as you can see, a battle forming between the 83 of Alvarez and the 73 of Kyle Cooper. And I do believe this is the highest that Kyle Cooper has ran all night long. He's currently there in position number 60. Now going to fall back down to 17. He gets real wiggly. He does save it though. And how about that 75 laps in out of 134? That was close. Thankfully, no caution, and Kyle Cooper keeps it going. That must have been a heart stopper for him, but he gets that thing right back to where it should be. Settled down and settled in. He'll be just outside the top 15 as it stands. And Randy Fine's going to be in that 25th spot. Kevin Matt's going to be in 26. Jay Haishman, P27, as Alan Romwell is going to be in that 28th spot. And right now, Romwell rolling into a good time in his own right. He's in 28th as it stands, the last man on the lead lap, but he's had some pretty decent pace as the night's gone on. Not working out for him on this run. Right now, going to be a bit off the pace, a few tenths off Jay Haishman in 27th, so looking out for more. Let's go to the 43 machine. It's going to be looking out for Indeed. It's going to be Ryan Farrell in the number 24 spot, now falling back big as Randy Fias chasing him. Matt Jonas going to be in 23rd. Jim Fife there in 22nd. And Trevor Trago right there in 21st. As it stands, though, Brad Patton holds on in 7th to go up to the front of the field. The battle for the lead is brewing. And right now, Caitlin Hayden is gaining in closer and closer. That time by the number 11 machine makes it within 2 tenths of a second, and it is a solid battle going on right now. Side by side, they're not just yet, but it could happen as the night has been going on. One driver has had a great run going all night up in front, Seth well, but right now Caitlin Hayton looks to challenge for yet another victory with number 2 on her season. It could happen this time, but it could not. That remains to be seen once again, as now the number 11 machine brings a few drivers right there with him. Chris Schletzer's going to be right there indeed. Nick Tarbuck's there in 4th, and then it's going to be Cody Griffin there in 5th. Jacob Fife going to be in 6th, and Brad Patton's going to be in 7th here as the top 5 are separated by 5 tenths of a second, and Jacob Fife on his own is 5 tenths back on the driver in 5th in Cody Griffin. So oh so close out in front it has been for quite a while here, and they're all barreling in and out time after time as they drive it through and through. It's been a real efficient race ran by one driver in Seth well. As 79 laps in, they might get closer and closer, but not close enough to stop them. Great to hear that it's going to be the 44 machine on his end for his sake. Great to hear that he's up front, but now great to see a battle for the viewer's standpoint as a number 11 machine looks to shake things up and shake them up quite well. It could happen this time by for her favor, as it's now going to be a gap between 1/10 of a second. The top 2 drivers chasing each other quite effectively. The battle has been brewing, and now it's going to be side by side between a few drivers in the middle of the pack, and that's going to be Alan Dobbs there right with Guillermo Alvarez. Going to be Don Stevenson there as well, and every driver chasing each other right now in that top 10, top 15 battle. 80 laps in out of 134. Your next level racing advertisement break will be at lap number 95. Going to be 55 laps to do it here and now. Don Stevenson there in 13th. Guillermo Alvarez going to be in 12th. Colin Gibbon is in 11th, and Alan Dobbs is there in 14th. Carson Bechtel makes it known that he's here to make something happen for his own race as he goes down to the inside line on Jorge Canales, looking to get in that top 15, 16th as is, but not enough to get into the top 15 just yet. Side by side, no clearance just yet, and he shall not pass, not without a battle, as the number 59 machine keeps the battle brewing quite nice. Don Stevenson going to be side by side with Gibbon this time by. While Colin Gibbon has not fallen back as far as we saw beforehand, still certainly is losing more and more time than he would like to see, as a number 04 machine in that matte black finish is now hoping to finish in the top 10, but right now those dreams might be kissed goodbye as the 47 machine gets right by him there. 82 laps into this one. Time is running out as Seth well now begins to claw back an advantage. It looks like Caitlin Hayden had something going to the middle run, the tire strategy, and that seems to be the way it plays out in the battle up in front. Going to be one battle playing out up in front. It's going to be Kurt Shefsko and Cody Griffin side by side with 53 laps to do it now. Naked 52, and it is now the number 3 right there with the number 24 machine battling thick and thin. Right now, though, the Yoo-Hoo number 24 machine does lose that battle, but Cody Griffin machine gets out in front. Nice to see for the number 3, as now Cody Griffin gets back up in a 4th. Jacob Fife going to be in 6th. Brad Patton is there in 7th. Tom Wetmore is in 8th. And Cody Smith's going to be in 9th here as Ross Cato rounds out your top 10. There in 12th. 52 laps to do. It's going to be now. These guys out in front. The top 10 out in front by 3 seconds. And Don Stevenson 1 second back in 11th. See the battle between Alan Dobbs and Guillermo Alvarez brew once again. Alan Dobbs, a great race he's ran all night long. Take a look at the rear end for the number 05 machine. Has Alvarez right there in his sights. This is with the rear view mirror series more than enough of an angle for him to know that the number 83 machine is chasing him. And more or less this is indeed what the drivers can see inside the rear view systems. iRacing does allow for a virtual mirror that does get rid of any blocking on the back end view, or a more realistic physical one in the digital realm that has it the exact way NASCAR Xfinity or Cup Series drivers see it in their stock cars week after week without much of a difference. Unparalleled realism live on FTN, the iRacing platform, the way to do it. If you want to join the fun on iRacing, use a referral code in the description. We'd love to see you on the track here with us, and we'd love to have you going at it side by side with some of the best on this channel right now. The best in this race, Seth Well gains a few more. Now he's about a half second out on Caitlin Haight with 49 laps to do it. Cautioned out, first one for cause. And it's going to be for the Golden Gimmon machine falling back, and now a dead stop straight on the field. And we will check back 30 seconds to find out just what happened. And Golden Gimmon down the back looks to be good to go. This time through goes for a move on it appears to be the Guillermo Alvarez machine in the number 83. Goes down there, has a bit of side force. That might be all she wrote. And that it was. A bit of tap there for Alvarez. Spins right up the track. And thankfully nobody hits him from there. But that is a safety yellow. The 27th spot Golden Gimmon is in right now. And Gimmon involved in that incident major. And now the number 27th spot he's in, the 04. Falls back big, not a lot of cosmetic damage. We'll see if it impacts his running speed, as these next gens are tanks with composite bodies. 48 laps to go, though you don't want to test that theory oh so early. Cautions out, first one for cause, 48 laps in to the checkered flag that have to go from here on out. Now 87 laps into this race to make it 88 next time we come down to the line. It could be the perfect time for Seth Well and the leaders to come down pit road and get some final perfections, or rather some final tune-ups for perfection on the tire strategy. 87, it should be time for the final stop, and that it is for leaders. They all come down, led by Seth Well, that time by Caitlin Haight right there. Going to be a lot of drivers in one sense. Guy Petra there, Kyle Cooper, going to be Alan Dobbs, and everyone comes down with Seth Well, leading them through and through. Caitlin Haight getting there in 2nd. Nick Tarbuck is in 3rd. Cody Griffin is in 4th. And then it looks like everyone comes down. Tom Wetmore right there. It's going to be the 44 machine in the mix, as it seems like the 88 is right there as well. Some drivers coming in a bit late, such as Jay Hageman, Golden Gimmon, and Kevin Matson. This time by the winner off pit road. Same old, same old. It might be Brad Patton gets off real quick, but it looks like coming off of the stripe that time by it is indeed Seth Well, then Caitlin Haight, Nick Tarbuck, then Cody Griffin with Chris Schetzler there in 5th. 47 laps to do it live on FTN, and we'll take you to a brief Fireball Talks non-stop, and we will have the leaders shown on the bottom right of the screen, so you don't miss a beat. The time and scoring will be up. You won't miss a thing. Under yellow will be back right before the green flag gets back on its way. We'll be right back in just a moment live on FDN. We thank you for your support, and we will be there in just a second.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
That is your FTN non-stop break for tonight's event. Now, we did test out something. You might have noticed a very brief addition, a very minor addition, but we hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Seth Well, your leader on the bottom right, so you know who is the leader, no matter where the ticker is during our breaks. Now, yellow flag is still out with 45 laps to do it, and Seth Well has had a control on this lead unlike any other driver. However, last time we had a pit cycle, Caitlin Hay got oh so close, just about a tenth distance away from that race lead. Now, will she be able to get it done this time? It could happen not. It's all up to her and all up to him, and Seth Well, as the iRacing official pace car, comes down for the first caution for cause all night long. Let's get right back into it this time. 45 laps to do it, led by Seth Well. Once again, green flag's going to be out here and now. Restart number 2 on the night. And Seth Well with a monster start, but not as major as the times before. That time by, looks like Nick Tarbuck does slide into second. Caitlin Hay there in third. Now these guys of the top 5 are oh so close, and it might be close enough for Nick Tarbuck to make something happen. That time by, he's oh so close indeed. 1/10 flat between your top 2 drivers as they come down the back once again. And with Nick Tarbuck knowing this, it could be an opportunity to make a move happen very late in the going. 92 laps in out of 134. It has been a great showcase from every driver into the top 5. Cody Griffin right there with Caitlin Hay. Then it's going to be Chris Schetzler, and he does not want to wait as Tom Wetmore goes right into him. And that time by cutting deep, the number 51 does. And now they'll be coming to the track at the same pace, the number 24 with the 51. And they're looking for some fun here as the 51 goes down to the apron. And the apron is a viable option for these drivers here in Chicagoland. Well, a few tracks where it works very well, such as a track like Kentucky once was, or a track like Kansas. As you can see, a great shot, and it is one to behold. Every driver come down the back at the same pace, and you can see a big rush through. They're going at about 165 miles an hour throughout the entirety of this circuit, and very little room to let off. You want to keep the power down all throughout the run. Wetmore goes out of the apron once again, and the lesser distance sometimes does pay off for a bit of a slipperier slope, and it does went that time by. Now Wetmore's going to be in 5th, as the top 5 has not gone all too far apart. Drivers are learning for the best man in the field, and they might be able to make themselves the best in their own right. 41 laps to go here and now. It looks like it could be Nick Tarbuck's night to shine, as the number 4 machine goes down to the inside line and tries to take the line. Right there it has been a battle to behold, as the 4 machine makes himself known. Look in the middle of the field right now. The battles are as fierce as they can get. Kyle Cooper right there with Brad Patton, and Patton goes up high. That time by, they'll be sliding side by side, and now double file. The number 1 machine is going to be with that number 73 as they come down the back once again. You can see double file. They're about to only battle up in front with a double file. Look at it, and you can see now down in the back of the field, they are close as well. Jim Fife gets it right by Victor Avila Felix, and I do believe that this is in fact the highest that Jim Fife has ran all night long. Right now, he's going to be in 21st, a great run on his end all night long. He's going to be able to get better and better and better, and right now he looks to be closing in on something to behold. He's right there, side by side. That time by with Victor Avila Felix once again, as Colin Gibman now double file with Jay Hageman. It looks like Gibman is still able to contend, but not in the top 10 as we saw beforehand. It now comes down to this very final grouping, and it's going to be the very final pack indeed. The top 20 is just inside of it, but not by all too much, as it's 38 laps to do it here in Chicagoland, and the middle of the pack is getting closer and closer as the Sethwell machine rise, but has not been able to do it successfully when it comes to getting a major gap. 38 laps to do it though. It could happen not, as the 44 on your screen is the 88 in the lead. Nick Tarbuck there in second, as now the top 5 are now hounded by new pack, Schessler and Fife, its leaders. And Tom Wetmore goes down to the apron once again, and now gets real close to Cody Griffin that time by, and Griffin right there in that number 3 machine goes up high as Wetmore gets it done on the apron. A very effective utilization of that apron, and no driver has been able to do it the same way as Tom Wetmore in this run. Wetmore looking for win number 3 on the season, pulled one out of his hat at Richmond, had a fierce battle with the man right in front of Cody Griffin for the victory at Gateway, and for a third win he would get to get through a lot of real quick drivers. Right now, it just has not happened for him, as they all slide side by side in the back of the pack. The front has been a lot more stable, and it is going to be Kevin Matz right now in the 18th spot, clawing in on Ryan Farrell, getting closer and closer to perhaps some success in a move being made. But right now, the moves are made in the back indeed. It's going to be right there. They were side by side for a moment. Right now, they are not. The closest battle appears to be Jim Fife and Carson Bechtel, as Carson Bechtel has fallen into 22nd, and the man in that number 23 spot, well, that's a 63, just not able to get there in that number 63 machine indeed. Guy Petra falls down to the apron that time by. He has a lot of trouble keeping going, but does it get himself saved? And the Shelby number 8, oh so close to disaster, makes himself right there known on the frame, but he gets himself going. Might be able to frame himself much better as the night goes on. That remains to be seen as Nick Tarbuck holds on out in front indeed. First place he is now, and take a look at this. Sethwell falls back into 4th. Take an instant replay of just what happened, as Sethwell has been back there for just a bit of time. Now Tarbuck's in 1st. This is your instant replay on just what happened. And down to the inside line, this is going to be the move for the lead. It could be the move for the victory if it all comes down to it in a few laps time. You can see Noel got displaced, and now on the high side he went, as the number 4 machine at Tarbuck keeps himself going. And now it's Cody Griffin there in 2nd, chasing him down. This race is far from over here, as it's going to be side by side once again for the lead. It is not, as 34 laps to go. We'll go to your second Next Level Racing presentation in just a moment's time. The battle is brewing, and it's brewing big, as now Cody Griffin goes to lead as it gets a bit heated up. Once again, Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products, and we will be right back. You won't want to miss any of this, and we will return after this brief message. And that will be your second Next Level Racing promotional break. Once again, high-quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information. Since 2009, Next Level Racing been a great provider of sim racing equipment and now a proud partner of the Integrity Racing League. Look at this right now. Sethwell falling down through the field like a rock as he goes down to the inside line. Alan Dobbs right there with him to the 3 wide, and well, fading fast. He has not had to deal with that dirty air for quite some time, and he's taking a lot of time to get acclimated to it, as now Cody Griffin seems to have himself in sight of the victory. 30 laps to get it done here in Chicagoland, and now he is the top seed in this battle with 105 laps in the book so far. It's Nick Tarbuck there in 2nd, and Nick Tarbuck's going to see that Chris Scheffler right there in 3rd. Now it's going to be Jacob Fife in 4th with Tom Wetmore double file with the Brad Patt machine, and it'll be Caitlin Haight there with Alan Dobbs. It's going to be Cody Smith right behind in 10th, but now Seth Well finds himself as the bookend of the main pack in that 9th spot, and he'll have to find something to go nice and smooth as he's losing more and more time. And what times he's got to lose? Well, not a lot. He wants to, but it looks like he needs to learn something and quick to get himself right back into motion. That time by get the right side-by-side with Caitlin Haight, and now tries to make it a 2-4-1 in terms of the brand backstretch. Not able to get it done as the Tube Tech 51 keeps it right there in the sum of his movements. One spot up for Seth Well up into 8th, but not enough just yet. Cody Griffin holds on with now 28 laps to go. Schetzler's best race all season long. This is it, and Chris Schetzler turning slowly but surely into one of those guys to keep an eye out for night after night. The number 24 machine, as it stands, fighting hard to get into the playoff bubble right now, just not there yet. And the number 24 machine has himself in sight of the victory with 28 laps to do it. It could happen not. It is all about whether or not he puts the aggression down, puts himself into the loud pedal, because right now that loud pedal is what he needs as Alan Dobbs goes side by side with Jacob Fife for position number 6. As you might notice, Seth Well now up in the 7th. He might be able to gain not 1 but 2 spots here, as now Noel looks to be the fastest man in the middle of the pack, save for your leader and Cody Griffin. The top 10 guys now have about 10 battles going. Dobbs gets a bit squirrely. That time by fakes it out high, fakes it out low, then gonna drill right down into it and drills deep into Jacob Fife. Thinks better of it. Jacob Fife does not go and make some contact. They'll be side by side. They'll be 3 abreast that time by, as it's gonna be Seth Well taking them right down there. Look at him go. The number 44 machine in the screen now tries to get right to the top 5 with some force. Alan Dobbs, though, does hold on with 26 laps to do it. Unbelievable racing we've seen so far. And right now, Seth Well on the redemption tour, as he now has all but one driver in this middle pack pass. It's the 44 machine on the tear. Now chasing now the 4 who once had the lead. Brad Patton's in 3rd, and now Chris Schetzler has the speed for a battle. It's 25 laps to do it here in Chicagoland. Cody Griffin right there in 1st. Chris Schetzler's going to be there in 2nd, and Brad Patton's there in 3rd. But right now, that number 3 machine is slowly but surely picking up the pace and is slowly but surely running away from the field. How about this final stretch? You did not expect to see that number 3. I tell you what, up in front, it was the number 88's race to lose for a good majority of this one. But the majority is not how it ends. It's not about where you start. It's about always where you finish. Right now, Seth Well due for a top 5 finishes where he is, but he wants that 1st spot, and we know he wants it bad, chasing down everyone, and now he's the fastest man in the field by a 1/10 of a second and then some. So that being said, that time by Seth Well ran 31.693. Your leader ran 31.851. Noel is far from done here. You'll take a look at it as the night goes on. We got very little time to do it, but I do believe might just have a chance to make himself known for a victory battle, and he is oh so close to victory himself. The 44 right down there. They'll be slicing and dicing. 23 to do it, and now Noel getting right up to the back bumper. Nick Tarbuck, but not close enough just yet. The number 3 machine, he's got it all figured out so far. Chris Schetzler in the 24 machine rounds the backstretch, but doesn't get much out of it. And now with about 23 laps to go, 22 laps to go, next on up, and you know it, this will be the clearest time we've ever done it. It is TrackCams22.com. Track Cams for Gormers, the best cameras on iRacing, as we crank it up with 22 laps to do. We hope you enjoy the shows. We will be right back live on FTN. This is the 8th round of the season of the Integrity Octane Series, and we're going to crank it up courtesy of TrackCams22.com. And with a total of 18 laps to do it live on FTN, we got to thank TrackCams22.com for the best cameras on iRacing. Right now, the best drive in this event, it could be Cody Griffin's, as with a total of now only 18 laps to go, he is your man out in front, and while it might not be the widest of margins, he has that lead, and he has it quite steady, though. Seth Well goes to the high side once again, trying to make it clear for third, and he's right there on Nick Tarbuck, and that he does get it indeed. Now Noel's going to be in third, and he has 2 spots to chase down with 17 laps to go. It could happen not. It's all up to him as a number 44 machine gets himself down to the inside line and goes right back up again. Who's number 24 still is in that runner-up spot, but it is not done just yet. He is running through the field at light speed. Seth Well is far down as the 10th spot very early on, is now getting closer and closer to a victory once again. That time by, he's going to be able to run it compared to Cody Griffin's 32.0088, 32.061. So he's about dead even with the leaders now. Not as fast as your man out in front, but he is indeed faster than Chris Schessler by just about 3/10 of a second. No, 300ths, as Nick Tarbuck goes down to the inside line. Once again, they're all just about dead even here. And while it looks like Jacob Fife might have a run at Tarbuck, it looks like Seth Well has a run at Chris Schessler. Gets a nose down into the inside line. It could be enough to wash Schessler up, and that it is. Dirty Air, the king on the hill, and now the number 24 machine has himself way up high as they are all fighting for that inside line for the big advantage in the mix. And Alan Dobbs right now fighting fierce with Tom Wetmore. This is for position number 9. Dobbs going to be a bit of a door banger there with Wetmore. And as they come down side by side, Don Stevenson gives a push to Tom Wetmore. Will it be enough? Maybe, maybe not. Don Stevenson going to be there on the high side now. 3 wide with Ross Cato. And Ryan Farrell going to be right there in position number 12. And Sam Newton going to be in 13th. Cody Smith there in 14th. And Cody Griffin, 121 laps in, leads with 14 to do it. And now Seth Well is indeed in that second spot, and he's clearing away right there. Now Schessler gonna have a bit of a battle between himself and Jacob Fife. 14 laps to get it done here in Chicagoland, and it's 0.6 of a second the edge for Seth Well. This time by, he makes it about 5/10 flat, and he's getting faster and faster time after time. Well, makes it happen, and he now looks to have something quite swell going on as they come down for a baker's dozen. This time by, it's going to be Cody Griffin running at 32.216 compared to Noel's 209. He is faster, but not by all too much as we go down to our baker's dozen break, the final of which, the Next Level Racing advertisement break number 3, the last of which indeed. I'm going to thank you all for watching Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information. We will be right back one last time. And that is your final Next Level Racing promotional break. Once again, Next Level Racing, the highest quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. NextLevelRacing.com. Next Level Racing, a high quality performance partner of the Integrity Racing League. The champion of this series gets a $2,000 sim rig worth, of course, $2,000 courtesy of the brand. And right now, it has been Cody Griffin who might have a chance to land himself in the playoffs just off of this victory. 10 laps to go. And right now, 2 drivers coming right up on him, and that's going to be Seth Well and Nick Tarbuck, now faster than they've been, and right now about faster than the speed of light. It can't be anything more than complete stress up in front, knowing Noel has been oh so fast all night long. He almost fell out of winning contention, but he's looking to rise up once again, and rising to the occasion. The number 88 machine is no stranger to doing just that, looking to get up there with Tom Wetmore on the all-time winning list in this series. When it comes down to this season, at the very least, he might just be able to get it done with very little hesitation. He's now down there to the inside line, the 44 in your screen. It's the 88 on your timing and scoring is now within 3/10 flat. And as we went to a brief break, he gained about 3/10 of a second. That time by a 10th of a second a lap faster. And Nick Tarbuck is as well. It will be a 3-horse race coming down to the very end of it as the number 3 machine holds on in front. And it will be a total of 8 laps to get it done. Make it 8, and it's been great for Cody Griffin to lead, but can he hold on? It is no certainty, and he's no stranger to battling at the tail end of it, but right now he might be in the worst possible position. He might not be the track position versus the strategy to beat. We'll see as they all come down the line once again. It is still Griffin out there in front. Seth Well is still in second, but he now has about 1/1500th of a second to get through. Now he has that gap in half compared to last time we mentioned it. And one more time around makes it 7 laps to go in Super 7 for Cody Griffin as he still holds on there in first. Seth Wells is going to be in second. Nick Tarbuck's going to be in third. The battles behind are fading from vision. And it's going to be now Jacob Fife side by side with Brad Patton to go double fire once again. And you can see Brad Patton on the inside line holds on strong. Chris Schetzler has himself in fourth right now. These guys are battling hard, and Nick Tarbuck gets closer and closer to Seth Well, as Seth Well gets closer and closer to the lead, and Cody Griffin in his own right as the number 3 machine in there out in front. 3 Chevys on the podium so far, but only one can get it done. Make it 6 laps to go for the man out in front in that number 3. How about this run for Cody Griffin? And right now holding off 2 hard-charging drivers who might have enough pace to get it done and get by, but they have not been able to prove themselves for the victory just yet. Down the inside once again, you can see Cody Griffin still has that out in front, but maybe not enough as Brad Patton goes down to the inside once again on Jacob Fife. Side by side, they slice and dice once more, and now Patton goes all the way down to the apron there, and Jacob Fife might just have something going. That he does, but not enough to keep himself out in front. Now Patton follows himself into 5th and follows the number 24 there in 4th. And this could be it for Seth Well. That time by, he lost about 1/10 of a second's worth. And with this being said, Well will have to turn up the jets, but tires could be worn out just a bit too much. He had to claw through the field and then some to get back to this point. And now it could be all she wrote. That time by, Cody Griffin leads him down with 4 laps to go here in Chicagoland. And he has that lead, but could it be taken away? Well, it's possible. Is it probable? I'm not all too sure now. It was as close as 1/10 of a second, but now it's going to be out a quarter's worth, make it a third or so, as that time down the back, Noel has a bit of draft, not enough to make something happen. A lunge might be necessary, that or a yellow flag. Victor Avalofio is going to be battling with Carson Bechtel here. This is for 19th on the board. It's going to be Kevin Matz with Alan Dobbs and Guillermo Alvarez just outside the top 10, and now Wetmore there and Cody Smith and Don Stevenson. It's going to be now Smith almost going down to the inside line there as they fight side by side with 3 laps to do it. The 47 machine there, Sam Nito, has been able to recover major, and now he is in there fighting for the top 10, even though it could have been a top 5 night on his end, fading due to a disconnection of service. And now, right back to the circuit, he's fighting with those 3 in front to maybe get to the top 10 as high as what could be position number 9. Make it 2 laps to go this time by for the man out in front. Cody Griffin leads by 2/10 of a second. Well, dives it deep once again, gaining more and more. He might just be, but is it enough? We're not sure just yet. Take a look at this. Riding aboard Seth Well this time by in the Slashing O graphics, number 88. And the number 3 has been able to hold on out in front. Another major lunge by Seth Well. 2/10 are the distance between the top 2 drivers, and right now the difference is not all too clear, but it could be coming out of 1 lap to go. This time by the battle lead, all eyes are on it, and here we go once again, the final lap here from Chicagoland. And the number 3 machine of Cody Griffin, for all intents and purposes, just has to keep it on the track, and he might just have the victory for his own. John Steele on the apron, and nothing more that he can do, and nothing more he can say, as it could be a price to pay for a major lunge. Seth Well goes as deep as he can. It might not be enough, and it looks like it won't be enough. Coming out of turn 4, 201 miles to get it done. 1 caution for cause, and 1 winner at the end of it all. Cody Griffin gets it done. Round 8 from Chicagoland, and he had to fight as hard as he could, tooth and nail, to get it done. What a recovery for Seth Well. What a drive from Nick Tarbuck, but what a win for Cody Griffin. and he gets it done unlike any other race we've seen. And one slip up changes everything here in Chicago. Unbelievable. And the two Codys have won this season, Smith and Griff. And what a way to do it for the number 3 machine. And Cody Griffin, before we see your burnout, we will get you your race results on your screen. How about that? The number 3 machine gets it done there in position number 1, saving the fun for himself at the end. Griffin, position number 1 indeed, from Chicagoland as he comes down the line, this time by to get the celebration in motion. Your results will be on your screen in just a moment here, and it should be a moment indeed. Is Cody Griffin coming down the start-finish line? What a race it was. Now stick around for interviews. We will be sure to have them in just a moment, as well as the number 3 gets it done, and he will be in glee. As here we have it, the number 3, Cody Griffin, your winner in that first spot indeed. Third on the number, but first on the board from 14th on the night. That's going to be 2/10 down. Seth Welton third, and Nick Tarbuck in third. Indeed, it's going to be Seth Welton second, qualified second, and finished there. 2/10 off of Tarbuck in the final spot on the podium. That's going to be Brad Patton in 4th, Chris Schetzler in 5th, Ryan Farrell there in position number 6, and then Jacob Fife, position number 7. Caitlin Haight holds on to position number 8. And Tom Wetmore going to be in 9th, as the man who rounds out the top 10 is Don Stevenson there in 10th. From there on out, it's going to be these guys as follows. Cody Smith going to be able to get it done in 11th. Ross Cato 12th. Sam Needle going to round out the Baker's dozen, as Guillermo Alvarez is there in 14th, with Alan Johns position number 15 and Kevin Matz there in 16th. Kenny Rio comes home in 17th, with Carson Bechtel in 18th. Victor Avalafix there in 19th. Kyle Cooper in 20th, as the remainder of the field goes as follows. Jay Haishman 21st, Trevor Trago 22nd, Jorge Canales going to be 23rd, Randy Fife 16 seconds down, Fishes in 24th, and Jim Fife comes home in 25th. Then it's going to be Mount John 26th, Alan Rowell, the last man on the lead lap, in 27th, with Guy Petra 28th, Bobby Ross 29th, John Steele there in 30th, and then Dallin Gimman, Nicholas Ward, and Luis Caballero, who round out your field. And what a run it was for Boba Fett. Only one caution for cause here in Chicago. And now we'll get your burnout here on FTN. Take a look at this. Cody Griffin gets right at it. And continuing to burn it down, Cody Griffin does on your screen here as he gets ready to put it down on pit road. And as you can see, as it stands, he appears to be now parked on the start-finish line. Now let's get a word with the man in that number 3 machine. What a win it was there, holding off some hard-charging talent, and Cody Griffin comes home on the top of the board. What a way to win it, and the strategy came down into the palm of your hand, and you had some great drivers to fend from, and you were able to get it done in style. 2/10 to distance at the end. How was it out there in Chicagoland?
I tell you what, man, I've waited a long time to win one of these things in this league. This league's probably one of the best leagues you can get into. I mean, I feel like I want a peak antifreeze race. They're just everybody, especially in the Cup Series, everybody's just so thorough and so precise. I mean, Seth, if you beat him, you've done something. So really, really, really feels good. Car was pretty well balanced throughout the race. About 30 laps into a run, it would start getting tight entry to center, and just getting a wide arc on entry to get a straight shot out and try to save the right rear as much as possible was the biggest thing. And that last restart, I figured we'd have a late race caution, and we didn't. So I'm glad I was aggressive. I had to make a choice whether I wanted to ride and save where I was at, which I think was fourth, or get by everybody and then ride. And I thought, I felt like get by everybody and then ride was probably smarter. Just because even if we got a late race caution, at least I was first in pit road and hopefully first out. And it played out. And I was talking to Seth there before you pulled me up. We were in there talking, and he said that he just got trapped behind other cars. And once he got by him, his tires were just shot, and he couldn't make no leadway on me.
It seems like that battle, of course, a major factor was the packing you were able to get by in that big shuffler where Seth Well got sort of sorted out. So what kept you in there at the tail end of it?
Yeah, it's really just tires, man. I forget who was leading there. When I made the move to the lead, I passed down the front stretch on the flat and just made a real aggressive move because, it seemed like once you got into a run, you wanted to, if you were going to get past, you wanted to try to trap anybody that was going to pass you down on the bottom, and you wanted to roll the top, at least the second or third groove up. So I went ahead and passed him while he wasn't expecting it, or so I thought he wasn't expecting it. He didn't throw a block, so that was good, and he let me by pretty easily. And man, I'll be honest, once I got out front, I didn't even look in the mirror.
And driving it as hard as you could all the way there, getting it done here, round 8 from Chicagoland, and a very intense one indeed, with a lot of great drivers there in the mix. Now, round number 8, of course, at Chicagoland, the next race on the schedule. I do believe we're going to be doing it quite differently as we get the schedule pulled up on our end. Round 8, Chicagoland, and round number 9 is going to be at Bristol, and the dirt configurations, how's going to be there as we get to it for 125 laps in the dirt.
I've never ran dirt in real life or on here much at all. So I really don't know how that's going to go for us. Getting a win here lets me breathe a little bit for that. So, I think it'll just be survival. I think a lot of guys are probably going to struggle just because for the most part, all of us run asphalt. We don't run dirt. So one thing I do have going for me, I feel like, is, I drive a asphalt late model in real life on the weekends, and you have to set those up pretty loose as far as, cross and all that stuff to get them to rotate and pull themselves through the corner, just because they don't have a whole lot of power to pull them up out when they're tight. So I run my car a little bit on the loose side, so maybe that'll be an advantage for me, but we'll see.
And that we will. Cody Griffin gets it done before Bristol in Chicagoland. Gets himself locked up there for the remainder of the season. Win number 1 here. So any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Just thanks to everyone watching that tunes into these races every week. Even though it's sim racing, it's really nice to have fans that enjoy watching this stuff too. My crew chief in real life, he just lost his mom. So our condolences go out to all the Stewart family for all that they've got going on. I've been there of losing a parent, and it's tough. So I know they're watching. Pete, all of you, Dana, everybody, we love y'all, and y'all are in our thoughts and prayers, and we'll see y'all next week.
And there we have it. Cody Griffin gets it done here from Chicagoland, winning by about 2/10 at the tail end. Thank you for your time. And a close battle there for Cody Griffin, and it's going to be Seth Well second on the night. What a battle it was at the end of the day, and Seth Well coming home there in position number 2. So it looks like the clogs of the field very late there, and a hard charge for victory. So how'd you get so close there?
Well, we had pretty good control most of the race, and then the final run we lost control, and then once we lost control, everyone was just kind of driving with their heads cut off there for about 10 laps, and it hit our right front, and then we just couldn't get back by Cody once we got there. Kind of got stuck at that 3/10 bubble.
And it looks like a very close battle, and with a bit of a bubble when the air comes down to it, and it seems like out in front for a good majority of this, winning stage number 1 as far as we are aware here. So how big was the dirty air compared to the clean air?
Well, I only experienced it one run, but when I was in it, it was not good. If you didn't have a tire advantage, it definitely felt like you were at best going to be equaling out with them on lap times, because the draft would just equal out all the dirty air, and then you just kind of get stuck.
And just not able to make it happen due to a bit of a disturbance in the air now. Tires were another big factor. It looks like about a two-stopper on the night here. 46-lap stint at the end. How big were the tires in terms of the factoring out of the strategy?
With the way that the dirty air was, tires were a pretty big deal. It was just as important to keep clean air as it was to keep your tires underneath you.
And that, of course, seemed to be a key note in your run second tonight. Now, big race to come. Bristol Dirt next up on the schedule. What's it going to take to get it done there from about the most far out circle when it comes to the ovals that we have on the schedule?
It's going to take me finding some talent at that track. That's easily going to be my worst track on the schedule. We struggled at Gateway, which at the time was probably my worst track, and then now we're heading to what is my worst track, so it's going to be a rough one next week.
There we have it, a bit of padding tonight before what could be a rough one for Seth Wells, second here. Any final thoughts and anyone else you'd like to thank?
As always, shout out to Chad with the paint. Shout out to the Nexus boys. And shout out to the broadcast.
And there we have it, Seth Wells. Thank you for stopping by, second on the board tonight from Chicagoland.
Thanks.
There we have it. That's going to be Seth Well, but one of the driver on the podium, of course, Nick Tarbuck, able to get so close to the battle for the victory there and almost got it done for the second. So with that being said, a diligent drive from the guys out in the podium, and Nick Tarbuck, you're right there with Seth Well, so close to the victory, as a matter of fact. How was it in the final segment, as it seems like the battle for lead heated up big?
Yeah, it was getting interesting there. It was a lot of who could save the tires the right amount. As I mentioned, I think during the stage break, I think the top three did a pretty good job of balancing the speed with the saving. And we had a few people come up from the back, try to get their way in there, but they just fell back. So at the end, it was a 3-horse race. And yeah, I think we were all pretty even on tires. We would get runs. Me and Seth would get runs on each other, and I'd try to peak low and just couldn't make anything stick. And then, Cody out there with the clean air and really no challenge. He was able to kind of hold us off. But yeah, it was another good podium. Just, not quite what we want.
Had a consistent run there indeed. Now, third of the night here, strategy was a big factor to getting up there. So what did it take to keep you up there in that tail end tires? Was it the air itself, or what really got you at that very final segment?
Well, you had to take 4 tires there in the caution, of course. And if there wasn't going to be a caution, then I think we were all going to pit probably around lap 100. At least that's when I was going to pit. But yeah, when the restart there, I was hell bent on not getting past. And when I saw that I had a little edge on the person outside of me, I was like, all right, I got to make this stick and at least stay in second or take the lead or whatever. Because if you get mired back and you can't run the optimal line, then you're just going to be burning your tires up. So a lot of it was getting in the good track position and getting around people that, were doing the same thing as you. But yeah, also a lot of it was just guessing if you're saving tires enough or not.
And it was a guessing game for some, but nonetheless able to get it just right at the tail end. So close to the victory. Nick Tarbuck, third here. Next race on the schedule is going to be Bristol Dirt, and how's it going to be with 125 laps of non-pavement action?
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. I had a good time at that race last year. We did it. Not a lot of people showed up last year, and I think I ended up winning that race. But this season, we have a lot of competition that's racing very quickly up front. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not a big dirt guy, but I did have fun. So hopefully it's a good show.
And that's, of course, what we hope to see. Now, to round this one off, the final driver on the podium. Any final thoughts and anyone else you'd like to thank?
No, just thank you guys for broadcasting as always. Thanks everybody that tuned in to watch, friends, family. Thanks Yingling for sponsoring, Popeyes for being an establishment, and thanks to admins for putting on a good race, and everybody else for racing pretty clean tonight. See you guys next week.
There we have it. Nick Tarbuck, third on the board tonight. Thank you once again for your time.
See you, man. Thanks.
And there we go. Tarbuck on the way here as Nick finishes in third, and Cody Griffin gets it done from Chicagoland. What a way to win it for him as we get down into it. Round the rate from Chicagoland in the books, and the number 3, the one to get it through and through. Victorious, as our next race will be at Dirt Bristol for round number 9. Next time we'll be live is tomorrow with the 4 World Cup Series rewind of season number 1's championship that never got to air on FTN until tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that live at 8:30 Eastern. We'd love for you to be there with us. It's going to be an experience going through some history of FTN and Fortal in its own, and we have some guest appearances in the books for the first half hour of entertainment from there. smooth sailing with a broadcast that we have never gotten to see. Even myself, I've never watched it myself back, and now we get to get that history out into the public. We hope you enjoy that one. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz. Hope you enjoyed it indeed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the channel, subscribe. It would be, of course, a great service, as every bit of support we get keeps us going week after week and night after night. We've got to thank y'all for watching once again. Thank you all for watching this presentation of the Integrity Octane Series Round 8 from Chicagoland, and we hope to return whenever, of course, we're available to, and we hope to see you whenever we're live on FTN.